All right. Well, we are live after a thrilling win
Wow.
over the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah.
That's what you call a clincher.
Yeah, you want to clinch.
Because you're clinching your buttocks the whole
Yeah,
time.
I
Buttocks
got
comes
it.
out.
Yeah. We need to clinch a playoff spot or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You just keep clinching, and then at the end, you let it out, man. So
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It was stressful, and we saw things we don't often see from the Bengals in terms of coming through in the clutch.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a different Andy Dalton.
I am
This
too,
is,
man. The third down conversions have me pumped.
yeah.
The risk taking has me surprised, but it's the winning, Dadio. It's the winning that has me groovy. I mean, I am just feeling so groovy about Andy Dalton. And really, I'm wondering about the people who ever doubted this man, about their intellect and their intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, really, there is never any reason to doubt. I mean, look, this guy, since Bill Lazor has taken over, it's not about the stats. Forget about the stats, you know? Other than that interception, I'm not saying this because it was an interception. I'm saying it because it wasn't a good pass as well. It was tipped into the air, but it wasn't an accurate pass. Some people say it might have been defensive interference, whatever. Um, but Andy Dalton was just laser sharp. I mean, he was just accurate like we've never seen.
He was
Yeah.
making plays, yeah. And you know, it's funny. In a way, he was one of the better runners on the field. I mean, those few times when he had to run, um, he knew what he was doing. You know,
Yeah.
he knew what he was doing. He was very much in charge, and he knew where to go. He knew. I mean, he I think in one of those ones, I saw him break a tackle. I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
And
I mean, look, yeah. I mean, he had like two incompletions or something early in the game. And, you know, late in the game, he didn't complete as many passes. We had some struggles. One thing that really threw the team off of their game was when Eifert went down in the way that he did. And that is the only downer. And the Bengals, let's be very clear, they are a family. They are run by a family, the Brown family. They love each other.
That's right.
And Eifert, whether he has a mullet or not, it doesn't matter. They care about him. These Bengals players care about him.
Yeah.
And the Andy Dalton got sacked, I think, for the first times in the game. It's like on back-to-back plays.
Yeah.
The offensive line, just kind of showed their leaks. And the offense was thrown off their game. And the Falcons took advantage, you know. So that was a little bit of an uphill battle. But then we saw things we don't see very often. And look, AJ Green is AJ Green. We expect him to make diving catches into the end zone to win the game. We know he does that kind of stuff. But Tyler Boyd, I want to take a second to talk about Tyler Boyd.
Let's talk about him because it's really. I think that I would dub the year 2018 as the year of Tyler Boyd. That's what I would call it this year. If I were to give it this year a title or a name, I think we should call it the year of Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. I mean, I think, was that the Ravens game?
He is making the difference out there. He's exactly what, because you cannot just rely on AJ Green all the time. So who is that other guy? Who's your Marvin Jones going to be? And our Marvin Jones has been Tyler Boyd. And especially now, if we're not going to have Eifert. I mean, doesn't look like Eifert's coming back for a while. That's the vibe.
No. Yeah, his foot was facing the wrong way. That's not the way you want. Foot's supposed to face forward.
He looked really bad, really hurt. I mean, man, I saw he had this look of the pain on his face. You felt really bad for the guy. It's when here's the part I don't get. I know you want to talk about Tyler Boyd, and I'll let you. It's like, okay, it's a rough sport. And I don't know if you remember that strange call, which I thought was strange on Carl Lawson when he had that beautiful clean sack. Yeah. It was so clean. It was that sack was as clean, as the beggars in Bel Air. There's sacks that they carry around. It was clean. It was clean. Yeah. It was a clean sack, and yet it was called roughing the passer.
Well, let's be clear. The roughing the passer penalty has changed.
It's changed. It's become crazy. I mean, look. If you're going to call that, but then what happened to Eifert is totally legitimate according to football. I mean, what's up?
Eifert doesn't play quarterback. Well, let's put it like this: quarterbacks are getting paid. As a starting quarterback, a competent starter will get something like $25 million, $30 million now per year. Sam Bradford, by the way, got 20 million a year, and he's had like one great game and like maybe one good season, and he's never been healthy, and he's like 30 years old. So that when Sam Bradford's getting $20 million, and you know, Case Keenum had one good season, he got $20 million. So quarterbacks are getting paid a lot of money, right? You know, you look at Le'Veon Bell, who's frustrated with a very incompetent Steelers organization.
Oh gosh, yes.
And you look at, you know, he can't get, you know, Case Keenum type money. He can't get the guarantees that a guy like Kirk Cousins gets for his contract, right? So,
it's
not
just not right. Yeah, it's just not right. That's just what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if you want to make it a soft game, so be it. Make it a soft game, but it shouldn't be like, you know, one guy get, you know,
well, that's what I'm saying. The quarterback, look. So, like John has talked about, he says it doesn't really matter who running back is anymore. It's all about the passing game now. You just got to score other points and keep up. And so if a team loses their quarterback, it's not just that that team loses its chance. It's that nobody wants to see those games that they play. Those games are not very entertaining anymore.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah. So the NFL is trying to put. I remember I was hearing some ESPN guys. I think it was the Herd guy, the Cowherd.
Yeah.
And, another guy. And they were talking about how you know, other than Jimmy Garoppolo, and he injured himself, he's just running and his knee buckled or whatever.
Oh.
We haven't really lost any, you know, big time names in terms of quarterbacks this year. It's only been like 3-4 weeks, but that is something, you know, he's saying it's so entertaining to watch the NFL now. And so I started to understand the logic. You know, it's basically like quarterback off limits. Yeah. But I want to move on. And I want to go back.
Boyd, you were going to say about Boyd. You never talked about what you
so Tyler Boyd. Okay, this man. Let's just look. AJ Green is AJ Green. Okay, AJ Green makes the amazing play. He makes the deep play. He is unstoppable. You know, he's gonna. But Tyler Boyd takes advantage of it. Like no one, even Marvin Jones, we have not seen someone take advantage of it the way he has. Which is like every third down conversion. Look at this. The Bengals had, you know, like 3-4 big conversions on that touchdown drive, and almost all of them I think were to Boyd. He had like 1 or 2 third down conversions. He has 2 fourth down conversions.
Yeah.
He had, you know, like about 4 third down conversions in the game. And you can say, okay, you know, it's not just this game. Like, was a Goodberry, I think, was talking about how he is Dalton's guy on third down. You know, and that's not we understand. It's AJ Green is going to, it's not AJ Green. If he, you know, had another AJ Green playing next to him, of course he'd do much better than Boyd is doing. But the point is, Boyd is taking advantage of the opportunities, catching balls in the slot over the middle, exactly what a guy like Dalton, who wants to get the ball out really quick, always needed. Even more effective than Eifert, because Eifert, you know, comes and goes. He's like red zone, this, that. But man,
I will say this: we for the third down efficiency today was 7 for 12. We're talking about almost 60%.
Yeah.
I challenge you or anyone else to find something like that from last year. I don't remember us being like that last year. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this. I said this from the beginning. Bill Lazor has the kind of attitude that we need, and the offense improved immediately when he took over last year.
Yeah,
but it's not comparable being the quarterback coach who takes over as offense coordinator and then having a whole offseason to install your offense, which he had this year.
He is gonna be this guy. We just got to keep other teams from stealing him as they do with the Bengals.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
he loves to steal our staff. But
look, Terrell Austin was supposed to be the successor to, you know, Marvin. That was the rumor that he accepted the job as defense. But what we've seen on the defense gives us no confidence in him. If Marvin Lewis decide to walk away after this year, it's got to be Bill Lazor. Let's be honest.
It's got to be Lazor. You got to keep Lazor.
John is here. John.
No, but hold on.
I am here.
Let me finish this one quick thought before it escapes my old and senilic memory. Fourth down efficiency. We're talking about 2 for 2.
2 for 2, and that was both to Boyd on that final drive.
But I'm just saying, like, that's clutch. That is clutch.
I'm saying Boyd is the perfect Andy Dalton receiver. He's not explosive. He's not fast. He's smart. He gets in his spot. He gets there quickly. And Dalton gets the ball out quickly.
So I'm guessing John's got a lot to talk about. I have a question for John whenever John doesn't have his own stuff.
I'm ready. Let's go. Bring on the question right now.
He's holding his racket, and I'm about to give him a.
I have a question for John too.
No, but my question comes first because I thought of it first.
Okay,
John, tell me this. You're the analytical guy on the show. That first drive against the Falcons, the defense, the Bengals defense. I'm talking when the defense just folded and caved, and they just ran right over us. What changed after that?
You talking about the first drive of the game?
Yeah, I'm saying the first drive of the game, the Bengals defense looks bad. The Bengals defense, you remember?
Mm-hmm, I remember.
And then after that, slowly they start to look totally different. By the end of the game, the Bengals defense looks pretty decent.
I think slowly is the key word there, because if I remember, I'm looking at the drives right now. It went touchdown, turnover on downs, touchdown, field goal, and then a touchdown after that. So,
but they were starting to hold them
for the Bengals defense. What turnaround are you talking about? They couldn't stop the Falcons on
offense. I felt like there was a turnaround. I mean, like toward the end.
What was the turnaround?
What did the Bengals finally got the sack? That was nice.
That was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Listen, you're talking about something that happened 3 hours later.
Yeah. That is stop where they where they had the, what do you call it? The Falcons were deep in the territory. That was great too.
I mean, look, they had no touchdowns in the second half. The Falcons had no touchdowns in the second half. Something had changed.
They had one.
They did?
Well, one is basically he's saying you rounded, down from.
Oh, yeah. Relatively, they had no touchdowns compared to.
Relatively. It wasn't being little. Don't be so little.
Yeah, don't be. When I say no, I mean like compared to what they should have.
They didn't have 10. It wasn't double digits. It was, below.
It was like nothing. Something changed with the Bengals defense. This was my question. And what changed? Or maybe you're saying, it sounds like you're saying nothing changed.
Nothing changed. Absolutely nothing changed. The Falcons did more on offense in the second half than the Bengals did besides that last drive, and they got lucky that the Falcons just Falconed like they always do. And that was just the unfortunate case for them. Never has a falconing worked for my favorites. So that was awesome to see, because we are used to seeing that heartbreak work against us, but for once our team stepped up in the clutch and the other team folded like a cake, and that's exactly what happened in the last drive.
Yeah, Andy Dalton was on fire.
Yeah,
Tyler Boyd was getting in all the right spots.
He was.
And then AJ Green is like, "Hey guys, you forgot about me?" Boom! Right at the end. It was just a beautiful little progression.
It was like the Brady Bunch family reunion that I never got to see. It was like everybody was getting together in Atlanta, and it was a happy time together.
That would have to be like a rehab center, because all of them are kind of messed up.
That's why I said I never got to see. Yeah, and I never will get to see, unfortunately.
But okay, look,
but no, John, I just want to kind of also finish Hodgie's question. I think I guess the one thing that changed was we all kind of thought that the game was going to turn dramatically after Eifert's injury, after the block punt. That Falcons had the ball within the 10-yard line. And then to the defense's credit, this is something I kind of forgot in my spiel, that they did step up and they forced a field goal. So I think that stop was crucial in kind of stopping like the whole momentum shift. So to the defense's credit, yes, they stepped up there, but for the most part, Falcons did whatever they want. So the Bengals offense did, and I think we're going to get to that now.
Okay, I got
a few things. The defensive line had I mean, they were put. There was a lot of pressure there they were putting on, or maybe not.
Yeah, towards the end of the game, yeah.
All right, a few things. First of all, John, my question for you is there any way that was a face to the hand to the face by Bobby Hart on that green touchdown?
Yes, there was a hand to the face.
Okay, yeah, there is a hand to the face. Fine. Here's what I'm saying. It's
like
to me. Look, no, hold on. To me, it looked like this. It looked like the Bengals were in position to win the game, and I don't know why the refs, what it was. The ball came out in like 1.5 seconds, so they couldn't call holding. It wasn't enough time. So it's like, hey, let me throw a flag. If you're going to just take a random guess on a penalty, you say Bobby Hart, but not enough time for a hold, so you say hand to the face. So
right. So yeah. It's kind of like the equivalent of like a defensive holding on the other side of the field where the play happened, and it's like, it's kind of ticky-tacky, because in the grand scheme of things, the hand of the face didn't really do anything for the play because the ball got out like a split second right after it happened.
And
technically there was a hand. There was, it was an obvious hand to the face because his hand ended up jamming him right into the face mask. To Bobby Hurt's credit, he pulled it back immediately.
That's what I'm saying. It was so fast. It wasn't the kind of hands to face you called.
Right. But at the same time, we can't. I can't just say that it shouldn't have been called. It was just kind of up in the air, and he just happened to throw it right when the Bengals scored a touchdown.
But Bobby Hart has a disability. He's not that good at football. He should be able to use other techniques. Look, okay, John. I want to talk about some stuff in the comment section we have right now. Someone talked about Ross. Is he ever going to do well? He needs drugs like marijuana after the game and cocaine mid-game. Just saying. I have no idea what he's talking about because all he did was he talked to Chad Johnson, and Chad Johnson obviously is a motivational speaker. I take it. He talked to Chad Johnson. He goes out and has his first major contribution in a regular season game.
Wait a minute. Wait, you're giving Chad Johnson credit for John Ross to turn around despite the fact that this happened precisely.
That's true. No, I'm saying, yeah.
I thought shouldn't Chad Johnson get like an associate producer credit for that video?
Did Chad Johnson perform the enema? I might have missed it, but basically, for people who are not watching or haven't watched my Hodgescope this week, I told John Ross what to do. I said you got to get a coffee enema to get the stress out and you get the black bile out of your system.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's what happened because he looked loose. He looked free.
Okay, but here's another theory though. While he was performing that enema, he might have pulled his groin and then he re-pulled it while scoring that touchdown.
Yeah, he didn't look good. Yeah. He was wobbling into the end zone.
No, I mean I think the enema gave him a little bit of false confidence. And he thought he was invincible, and he didn't need to stretch. He's just so relaxed, and so
But anyways, I'm telling you, these kids coming along. This John Ross guy, he's coming along. He's contributing.
Yeah. People saying he's a bust. I just saw someone.
Like what?
If he's not a bust because he sucks at football, he's a bust because of injuries. It'll always be something.
No, I know. That's what I want to say. But this is what people don't get. When you have someone with the kind of mental obstacle. When they overcome that to a small degree, you kind of ease them into it. And then eventually when they feel comfortable, they feel the pressure is off, then you see the explosive kind of big contribution. So that's why you have to be patient. And what we saw from Ross was exactly why we drafted Ross. Now, if he's only able to give us 40 or 50 yards a game, I'm fine with that for the first half of the season even. So just chill out. He is fine. John Ross is fine. And guess what? We have a superstar in Tyler Boyd.
But Dadio, here's the thing. Here's the problem I'll tell you about John Ross is the expectation that John Ross would be some sort of once in a
That's over. Now the expectation
and you can't expect that. No, he's
not gonna be our number 2 receiver anytime in the next 2 or 3 years.
In his career. In his career.
He could be. But right now he's not.
I wouldn't say career.
Yeah. No, he's never
not. Tyler Boyd is such a good number 2 option.
He's a number 2.
You should think of Ross as a guy who come in, make a couple of big plays a game, and protects your other receivers from getting double teamed, helps the running game, takes guys out of the box. That is what he is right now.
He is. I mean, I always go back to the 2015 years. That's how I do my analogy. He is our Mohamed Sanu. Okay.
And very different player, very different kind of player.
I know, but I'm saying he's that role because back then we had AJ Green, Marvin Jones.
He's like that Chris Henry guy we had who passed away. He's like that kind of, he can come in.
That's exactly right. I think when we talked about this trio in the preseason, we said AJ Green's Chad Johnson. That's been.
Well, he's much better. Chad Johnson.
Tyler Boyd's TJ Huston. He's the guy. Yes. He's the third down option. He's the guy who can go over the middle and make a tough catch. Yeah. John Ross is the Chris Henry. He stretches everything out. He can make it, and he can take the top off of defense. Right. That's exactly what we saw. And unfortunately, Tyler Eifert would really complete that trio, but got to make do now.
Well, I mean, look, if it's possible to play with your foot facing to the right, I think he's going to be fine.
He's not. He's not going to be back. I don't think he's going to be back all season. Maybe
they need to push his foot back forward. It's just it
doesn't work like that. Daddy. It's not Legos. I mean, he's not. I don't see him being better anytime soon. Poor guy. I was gonna release my 2018-19 highlight video of him, but I thought I should probably wait. See what
might want to wait on that.
Yeah. Well, he was a trooper, and we're gonna miss him. And at least he got a touchdown before he went down.
Well, look, Bengals defense. Okay. Offense looks great. Let's be honest. It's not about the points. It's about the fact that they overcame the adversity to Tyler Eifert, and they came through in the clutch. Andy Dalton was sharp. He was moving. He knew when to step out of. Other than those 2 sacks after Eifert was down, he knew when to step out of the pocket. He knew when to find guys on the run, all that kind of stuff. So great. Offense was good. Gio didn't get a lot of carries, but he had a healthy average, about 4.5, 4.6 yards, something like that. He looked good. And so we know Mixon is a much better runner, and he's 90%, I think, 70, 80%, he's going to be back. At least 60%. He's going to be back next week. He's probably going to be back next week. So Mixon be back. Eventually Price is going to be back. That will give us. So offense is fine. Okay, let's move on to defense.
Wait, can I just talk about Dalton real quick? Just one final thought.
Yeah.
I think,
but no negativity. Great. Yeah, no.
It's completely positive. We might have to start a dialogue about Cordy Glenn here soon because of his issues against speed rushers. But I think the 2 plays that saved the drive or the game in total was Dalton just protecting the ball against bad protection from Cordy Glenn. It was him pulling the ball back somehow, rushing for a couple yards, and then him somehow not getting strip sack on the very play after that. So that was very impressive to see from Dalton because sometimes earlier in his career, he did struggle with fumbles and whatnot. That's an issue that a lot of younger quarterbacks struggle with, but had the Falcons got some luck there, that touchdown drive and doesn't end up happening. So kudos to Dalton for not only playing well on the box score, but doing the little things that really changed the game.
Well, I mean, Glenn has been a huge disappointment, if I'm being honest here. Huge disappointment. I mean, think about it. We could have had any offensive lineman we wanted, except for that one guy, that one guard that went to the Colts. We could have had just about anybody if we didn't move down. And we moved down, and we get Billy Price is okay. But the point is, we were pretty confident we have our starting tackle, left tackle figured out, and we do not. Okay. Now, defense.
What are they gonna do?
I mean, he's by far their best option there right now. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. I mean, they have bigger problem. They figured out Bobby Hart, as I think John called him on Twitter, Bobby Fart.
John, I like.
Yeah, this is very Hodgie. I was wondering if Hodgie hacked your account.
Yeah, nice.
I think that's one of those tweets he was.
When those opportunities arise, you got to take them. When there's alliterations and rhymes, you just got to.
Sometimes you just know when you're typing it out.
Goodberry think that Jake Fisher gonna be better than Bobby Hart. He think he'd be better. It'd be interesting to see. I like Jake Fisher's fight. He has fight. He's feisty. Yeah. That's what I like about Jake Fisher.
Definitely have to give him more consideration for sure.
Yeah, when you play the Steelers, I like having guys like Jake Fisher on the field. But okay, so defense. We gave up 173 yards to Julio Jones, I think, 111 to former Bengal Mohamed Sanu, who's never the kind of he was always like a solid contributor, 40, 50, 70 yards, but he had a huge game against us. And the Tyler Gabriel, what's his name? The rookie, he had 2 touchdowns. Calvin Ridley. He had 2 touchdowns. That shouldn't happen. But the bigger thing is, you look at the Panthers game we couldn't stop the run. This week we couldn't stop the pass. They had 403 yards passing. Matt Ryan did. Now, Preston Brown was back. So really what that leaves is Vontaze Burfict is the only other big addition. You could say Adolphus Washington is his name. Maybe he come in and help a little bit. But the defense is nowhere. We thought the defense was going to be the strength of the team, especially considering last year the offense was so bad. It's the exact opposite now.
But we thought the pass rush was going to be the strength, and then things would kind of funnel back.
We thought the secondary was good. We thought, it was pretty good. Everybody, quoting the Pro Football Focus stats, like, William Jackson, the best cornerback ever. He has not been the best cornerback ever this season. So even the secondary has been a disappointment. Drake Kirkpatrick has been Drake Kirkpatrick. The Bengals are starting to realize, I hope, that just paying someone like a top corner doesn't turn them into one.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates has been a nice surprise, though. Been very solid. But we can't tackle. We're not very good at tackling.
No, and there were some key tackles that I'm not sure what's going on there. Is it the lack of discipline? Those are tackles that any competent defensive player should be able to make that they were missing. What's going on there? Is it what's the issue? I'm wondering. Why are they missing those tackles?
I have no idea, John.
They just
I think. I mean, missed tackles have always been a weakness for the Bengals, specifically for the linebackers. Drake Kirkpatrick and William Jackson have never been formed tacklers in their time in the NFL. Jesse Bates was highly criticized in college for missing tackles, but at the very least, he's been good. Sean Williams is obviously a good tackler. So a lot of those similar weaknesses have kind of plagued them. But I think the Falcons, just from an overall perspective in this, Falcons' offensive game plan rarely deviates, even with Kyle Shanahan not there anymore. They set up the run with a lot of outside zone, and then they hit you hard with play action that really stifles the pass rush. Hit you a lot with these deep over routes. And we saw the Bengals middle of the field once again, get gashed on some of these deep overs from the receivers. And guys like, Dre and William Jackson, they were allowing inside leverage a lot. And then, Sanu, Julio Jones, Kyle Ridley, separation off a lot of them because, for the most part, Matt Ryan just stood back there for as long as he wanted because the play action stifled the pass rush. Bengals couldn't get home with 4, and that really opened up everything for the Falcons on offense and just allowed everything to work. And the running game didn't really work for them that well in the second half, even though it did in the first half. But for the most part, their defense looked tired. Cornerbacks couldn't, maintain bump run coverage and whatnot. So just a lot of those things really contributed to the Falcons just opening up a lot of things and just creating easy separation, easy completions for a quarterback like Matt Ryan, who we've seen in the past could just dice up any defense that he wants as long as he has those specific things working towards him.
We're looking toward the Dolphins, right? So is it just me, or I feel like the combination of Burfict's return, because Burfict's coming back for the next game, isn't that true?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. So Burfict is coming back, Mixon is coming back, and then we're facing the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, I don't think they don't do too well. I mean, they with protecting the quarterback and that kind of thing. I feel like maybe it could be a time to shine.
Yeah, for sure. And what I'm scared about is that they just lost by like 40 to the Patriots.
Yeah.
And I'm worried they're going to have their own on to Cincinnati, which is the only thing that concerns me about that, because I don't think any of us really thought that the Dolphins were a legitimate 3-0 team. I think they just had some easy competition and just ran into a brick wall. So they still have to be ready to play. They have to hope that whatever spark Burfict gives them on the defensive side of the ball is going to be enough, because the Dolphins defense is still, I think, formidable, even if the Patriots just dice them up.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Patriots, I mean, they're not the Patriots of last year.
They just won by 40.
No, the Patriots do this every year, though, Hodgie. So they start slow sometimes.
Yeah.
They make a couple of key adjustments, and boom, they win 14 games in a row, and then win the Super Bowl. It happens all the time. Patriots are fine. Dolphins, here's the thing. They started 3-0, but the Falcons are a little bit more of a little worse of a matchup, in terms of the kind of look at Julio Jones and look at their corners and all that. And they scored 37 points last week, 36 this week, 37. They're a pretty good offense. Panthers were just a terrible matchup for us. Not a great offense, but a terrible one for us. Both because of Cam Newton. He's basically the worst kind of quarterback we can try to stop,
That's true.
Tackling. And then you have Christian McCaffrey, who is exactly the kind of guy. He has, the over the middle kind of short pass, all that kind of stuff that we've always struggled with tight ends and with those kind of players. So that's fine. Defense had a bad couple of weeks. I think the pass rush is going to step up. Hopefully the linebackers, because look, Burfict, we say, okay, we're just getting Burfict back. And we can say, okay, yeah, Burfict is a very great player. But no, Burfict's impact is far more than what he actually does on the field. When he's on the field, the entire defense plays better.
The whole team?
When he's on the field, the whole team plays better. His tackling ability, his awareness. Look, one key play here or there that Burfict recognizes, maybe he points something out to someone, or he makes the pass breakup himself, that turns the game. So if Burfict can stay healthy and can stay on the field, not get suspended, and people were talking about this on Reddit, with the new rules, Burfict going to be in trouble. I don't know about that, because he understands the rule as well as anybody, right?
Yeah, he's a tricky guy. He's smart. He knows what he's doing.
And look, he doesn't. He's not a pass rusher, but he does get to the quarterback. But if he does,
and he knows he's under the microscope.
Yeah, I mean, look, Burfict. I think he's smart enough. He knows where to hit someone. He knows what to do. Exactly what he's doing. I think, look, to sack the quarterback, all you have to do is basically turn your body to the side. I'd say all you have to do. Of course, it's hard. Of course, it limits your effectiveness. But Burfict understand that as well as anybody. There is a good chance he will avoid those kind of hits. It's his livelihood on the line.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Burfict getting penalized more than in the past. What I'm worried about is that we all talk about the great impact that Burfict makes to the defense. And I don't think when you look at the splits when he's out there, when he's not, it's pretty evident that those are all true. Well, what scares me is that how much they rely on him. And all the things that you talked about is great, but to have one guy that really makes that much of a difference, and we know we can't rely on him to stay on the field for more than just a few weeks, whether it's injury or suspension, it's terrifying. Because
it's terrible. It is. But it's also not necessary. Like, if we have him on the field, look at the Ray Lewis on the Ravens and off the Ravens. Totally different defenses, right? So we've seen this before. So if Burfict is stay on the field, we have a championship caliber defense, maybe, or we have a top 15 defense.
It's just, man, that's all I'm saying. It's a big concern.
It is. But the running game, go ahead.
Mixon too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Right. Yeah. So Mixon is huge. Mixon on the field is huge for us. For a team that can't run block that well, he is huge. Giovanni, admirable performance. Very good performance. But they're always going to limit his carries. They're not going to give Gio.
They will limit his carries for sure because they want to maintain him, especially when they only play two running backs. But I do think that we aren't giving G enough credit for working with bad blocking, just like Mixon does. I think he does well of creating his own yards, whether it's bouncing to the outside or just letting holes develop in front of him. I think he did a very good job. Maybe not gotten as many carries as we thought he would, just because they only activated 2 running backs through these last 2 weeks. But I think that we aren't giving Gio enough credit.
No, I'm not
about Gio. I'm saying the coaches
had more rushing first downs. Yeah, we still had more rushing first downs than the Falcons, and that's what matters. Is you do the rushing to make space with the passing, and that's exactly what Gio did. So he did his job, and he did it with fewer attempts than the Falcons. And higher yards per average yards per rush. So I mean, he had 4 points. I mean, that's not bad for our team. Look, it's like this. It's just John. What you were saying about Burfict is completely true. That we almost rely on him too much. But I can say that that's not the case with Mixon. That the team is okay. They've proven that they're okay with Gio, but just really much better.
Look, there's Thomas Rawls. And Thomas Rawls, he hasn't been a contributor for a couple of years, but when he looked like a pretty big time back. And his running style, I understand why the Bengals want him. His running style fits with the kind of offense Bengals want to run. But look, guys, don't expect big things out of Thomas Rawls. I mean, like John said, he couldn't make an impact. It was on the Jets last year.
The Jets, yeah. He couldn't make the team this year. So
Gio's gonna get the bullet carries. Mark Walton, he had very bad average today. Is like, let me see here, 1.8 yards a carry, 5 carries, 9 yards. Not great. But he's the kind of back, maybe he breaks one off for 50 yards after like 5 or 10 carries. Who knows? Running game, Mixon comes back, it'd be fine. Looks like he's gonna be back. I think Jeff Hobson was saying that he thought Mixon was gonna play today. He looks great, right?
Yeah, he was warming up, but I don't think they had any intentions of actually playing.
I never understood. I mean, I guess I'm so old and out of touch. How is it that someone can have knee surgery and then be back within just a number of games? I mean, is that right? I mean, what are they exactly? What is this is not Star Trek.
Well, it was loose particles. It was loose floating particles that he didn't put there on purpose. Not like those rings, those games where you push the button, the rings float. Not like that.
Yeah.
They were particles from his knee.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the pictures now of what happened after the AJ Green touchdown. He literally ran over to AJ Green on the sideline and just almost tackled him on the ground. I can't imagine any of the coaches wanted to see him. He looked well. So he'll probably be back.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about Joe Mixon. This guy been through a lot. A lot of people hated him, and I know our fans are smarter than that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I'm not going to root for this guy if he on my team, right? And now they're like, oh my God, Mixon, come back! You need to save us. You're the whole team. Like, wait a second, But my point is this: this guy went through a lot of hate. A lot of people didn't even want him in this league, right?
Yeah.
He knows he has to play harder and better than everybody for people to believe in him, and he's done that so far. Last year, don't look at the stats. Look at my highlights video. Don't read any. Don't look at any other. Look at my highlight video.
Yeah.
You see the kind of plays he was making out of nothing.
And, oh my God! And the poor guy compared himself. What did he compare himself to Le'Veon Bell or something? And Le'Veon Bell
he got all that hit. I'd rather have him.
What's up with that? Now, Le'Veon Bell? Where's Le'Veon Bell and where's Mixon? Man?
Right. Mixon has way more. Even though he's missed the last game, he has way more rushing yards than Le'Veon Bell this year.
Of course.
And the thing is that if you take contract into consideration, I think Mixon has more value than Bell this year.
Of course he does, man. I mean, this is just So it's got I got a lot to look forward to, I'd say.
Yeah. So my point is, he's going out of his way. You know, I remember was it Ron Artest, the Lakers? He had knee surgery, came back to play like a week. I think it was like Kobe's. I think it was like the 2012-13 season or something. He came back to play for the playoffs like a week after surgery. Sometimes in desperate situations, these guys just hop off the table and want to play. So
wow,
yeah,
a lot of morphing.
Wow. Oh, so John has experience, I guess. Okay.
Wow.
Any other topics? Yeah.
Well, I might head out, guys. I don't know if everybody's been following the news about these mountain goats in Washington, about what's going on there. But I thought I'd raise a little bit of awareness that there's these mountain goats that are addicted to human urine, and as you might expect, they are being forcefully removed from Mount Olympus, I think it's called in Washington.
Yeah, I meant anything else Bengals related, football related.
Shot with tranquilizers and helicoptered out of the area. It's a travesty, and I'm going to go attend a protest of this situation. I'm going to be speaking to the governor of Washington. You better, once I figure out who he is, you better believe me that. Or she. Yeah. It doesn't work like that. You can't just get rid of any mountain goats you want. That is their home. That they live there. They were imported from Colorado, but that is now their home.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So, So look, just real quick, I want to remind people we're giving out the drawings and the starting lineup figures until we get 2019 subscribers. So please subscribe, leave a comment saying what you like about me or Hodgie. We had one starting lineup winner, the Romain, but he never claimed his prize. He has to send me the address, so I send the prize. But it's trying to get to 2019 subscribers now.
It's funny because Dadio would never even let me hold the box.
But you were holding it wrong. You were holding it wrong, and if you tilt it, because if they don't stay in their normal, that plastic that is for them, you know what I mean?
Then, So now
they'd be disfigured.
That you're giving those away. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I am, but look, and a lot of you are saying, "What is with the logos? We want to see the puppets." I want to see the puppets. Look, but the Rachel Burson, who's supposed to make our puppets, she's from Cincinnati. She's in LA. If you want, maybe reach out to her and put pressure on her, to just make our puppets, because I can't find her. So when I find her, we make the puppets. We got the lights that Rick Hawley gave us. We put the lights up with the puppets. It's going to be big time Hollywood, big time show. That should happen very soon. We said October. Tomorrow's October. So, sometime starting tomorrow, a little bit later, we get the puppets made. All right. And John is probably, we're going to try to do an NFL film school later in the week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. So tune in for that. And we might, Hodgie, I think you might have a Hodgioscope coming up.
I'm working on some. I've got some ideas brewing in my mind. Let's see what I can do for the team. Everything I do for the fans and for the Bengals. Trying to improve the team, just like I improved John Ross. Let's see what I can do for next week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe think about Cordy Glenn. Get him.
I'll work on it. Yeah, I've got some ideas for him too.
All right, for John Sheeran and Hodgie, I'm Dadio, and that is all. We will see you next time. Sweetie Pies.